Welcome to this episode of Veterans Rides. Today you can see we have a 2000 Dodge Viper RT10 owned by Navy veteran. So hey, let's go ahead and introduce him right now.
Hey guys, my name is Robert Maior. I'm 82, former United States Navy, and this is my car. Hi guys, this is my 2000 Dodge Viper RT10 purchased December 2016 from Copart. It was a salvage vehicle in a total condition or total loss written off by the insurance companies. And when I got it in January of 2017 in my garage, everything you see here today was pretty much put back together by myself in my garage. So it's quite the challenge. I had to learn pretty much how to do things for the first time, such as welding, such as framework, carbon work and fiberglass work, and all the stuff that would make it thick again and look the way it does today. The work is ongoing, it's not finished, but it's drivable, it's enjoyable, it's my pride and joy, and I can successfully say that I saved this vehicle from being parted out, which a lot of Vipers' fate end up as.
So now that we know a little bit about this bad boy, let's take it out for a spin.
That's torque for you.
Jesus Christ. All right, so let me ask you, what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the United States Navy, stationed in San Diego, Coronado, North Island, and I was with HS-6 Helicopter Anti-Submarine Squadron, and I worked on Seahawks.
Seahawks. Okay, so what was your job in the Navy?
So my aviation career started as an AD. I was an aviation machinist mate, and I got retired medically in 2004, and I made a E5, which I'm very proud of.
Okay. Any family members in the military service?
Yes, actually my grandfather was a sailor during World War II. He was in the Black Sea.
In World War II, and you were stationed in the Black Sea?
Well, not in the Black Sea, but he was stationed on the Black Sea, yeah. So he was part of the entry there. He was kind of, his purpose was kind of unique because we were trying to keep the Germans out of entering the Black Sea because of the oil supply. It's ties to, obviously it was a strategic point for Russia. So that's basically all he did, is just patrol the Black Sea during World War II.
Ah, okay. And what country was this?
That was for Romania.
Romania, okay, so the Romanian Navy, okay. That's some good stuff. I've always found that people who join the military have had family members in the military, not necessarily directly, like it may not be your parents, but it could be, great grandparents as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's good stuff. Okay. So this car was in pieces, or basically rotting in the hot LA sun in Copart, Van Nuys, California, when it was initially picked up, and now it's driving, it's roadworthy, everything's absolutely legal. I mean, it's amazing, just amazing stuff. What about the kind of work that you did to get this car back into its roadworthy condition? And I gotta say, this car drives really well. Like, I can't tell this was a salvage vehicle at all. I mean, I don't feel like the chassis is twisted or crooked by any means. And it just seems like something that was never into a serious accident. So can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Thank you. I mean, I've really paid attention to all the critical things to bring the car back, and I really didn't want anybody else to do any of that work. I wanted to do it myself because I wanted to put the time, labor, and love into it. It really became a labor of love. I wanted to pretty much do everything correctly from the start to the finish. Obviously it's not done yet, but a little bit of the work involved. I had a cracked timing cover, cracked engine mount on the right side, so all the oil leaked out, and as a result people kept starting the car, seized up the lower crank. As a result, the engine got rebuilt. I got the lower rebuilt. The top end actually didn't sustain any damage upon closer inspection.
The top end of the engine?
Yes, the top end of the engine, the piston, cylinder, sleeves, rings, all that stuff didn't sustain any damage. We inspected it closely. I would like to thank Remarkable Engines for the outstanding work that they've done on my engine. They kind of helped me me put it all together. I purchased all the parts, and a really good team of guys here in Phoenix, Arizona. And nobody wanted to touch this engine, obviously being the V10 and its heritage. But these guys definitely weren't scared and did a really good job, so I wanted to thank them for it. I want to thank Dr. Welded out of Tempe, Arizona, for being able to weld my cast aluminum with my timing cover and my engine mount. But realistically, that's the only outside work that took place. I wanted it professionally done and looked at in sense of cast aluminum welding and crank and machining of those items. But everything else, as far as the frame, I purchased my own steel. I mic'd everything out. I bought the manuals. I had the blueprints. Obviously, I had all the principal point dimensions and locations of the vehicle measured in millimeters. I used lasers, strings, rulers, straight edges, everything that I could, squares. Everything was accurately put together, and when I brought it in for my alignment, they said that I was within 2 millimeters of nominal dimensions for alignment. So everything
alignment for like your tires, right? You're talking about chassis.
Yeah, the front end,
chassis alignment.
Yeah, the chassis alignment, the front end, A-arms, and camber toe and caster were nominal, which made me really happy because I had all the adjustments either which way.
All right, so in terms of building this car back up to where it was, did you have any troubles anywhere? I mean, I'm sure you did. Like, what was the one thing that really threw a wrench in your plans, or something that came up and you're like, oh, like, what is this?
So obviously, every time you rebuild a car or restore a project, you're going to have items that you weren't prepared for, and you have to deal with those things. In this particular case, the right side of my frame was pushed in and back about 4 inches worth total, which I had to cut the whole thing out and pretty much rebuild the whole frame. So that was a big challenge.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, no average backyard mechanic, I'm not saying you're a backyard mechanic, but nobody that works out of their garage does any sort of framework. I mean, I guess I can imagine the hot rod guys doing that, but those are older vehicles. The tolerance and those machines are probably nowhere near as tight as they are now. Did you have any other issues?
Not really. I mean, it was just kind of take everything apart, assess the damage, replace the broken, unrepairable pieces, and then anything that could be salvaged, put back together. So the process itself was about 8 months in my garage, and it went relatively smooth in my opinion, considering the damage that the car had.
8 months is a short period of time. Some people don't even get their tires changed in 8 months or oil changing.
I guess.
That's good stuff.
I mean, I just was motivated, and if I had to give any advice to anyone that wants to take on a project like this, is not to get hung up in the very, very fine details. So my plan was to get the car on the road. So not, in other words, not to make every single cent and detail perfect, because that would just take too long, and a lot of people lose interest when they get to that type of attention to detail. I didn't want to sound like I skipped out on the essentials, because I did not. However, what I'm trying to say is that I didn't wait until every single piece showed up as far as cosmetics and things like that. I immediately put the car on the road. I immediately passed the level 3 inspection. I got it registered so I could start enjoying the car, so I could be motivated to get it through and get it 100% completed. So there's no point in sitting on it. As soon as you get something done, move on to the next phase and just kind of get it driving first, and then you can focus on all the last minute things.
Yeah, and that is a monumental undertaking. I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of work you have to do. And you know what's interesting to me is some people have cars from their family members and who have maybe passed away or just left the vehicle there, and they're like, yeah, we want to get back on the road, or I've had this for 30, 40 years, want to get back on the road. And it's like, I mean, it's at some point, maybe after 2 decades, you either gotta sell it, let it go, or do something with it, right?
Yeah, if you're passionate about something, you'll get it done. You'll find a way to overcome your challenges.
Well, all right, so this was, it's about the end of the episode. Learned some fantastic things about this wonderful vehicle, about Robert Maior, you know, veteran, right? Fantastic ride. Learned a little bit about his family. So see you next time.